Something about his manners. Hope I know now. He didn't walk up with that how you doing. When he came in, he said there's a lot of girls I can do it, but I can't with her. Doing forever in a minute. That's on my night.
Hey y'all, and welcome back to another video. So this was not the plan for today's video, but I got home, I was super exhausted, and I was like, you know what? No, you're filming your babies a video because it's been a blue million years and they're dying for a video. So tonight we're gonna do like my nightly routine. But before we get into today's video, first, be sure that you do subscribe. If you have already subscribed, welcome back, my darling. Please join a part of the family. Also, do be sure that you do turn your notifications on while you're down there subscribing. I have faith that you will. Earl has faith that you will, and Earl will not be up much longer. So do it for Earl. Do it for Earl. And we're about to hit the 600 mark. It just so happens that we're going to go ahead and start the 600 subscriber giveaway now. Be sure that you do subscribe though, because when I get to 1,000, we are going to do 10 giveaway winners. There's secret emojis in every video randomly, so you can just comment them down below for additional entries into the giveaway. But today we're just gonna do basically what I do every single night. Now, parts of this is not every night because I do not wash my hair every single night. As you can see, this is just like I said, towel dried. I'm gonna go over what we're gonna do and then we're gonna get into the story time. I'm gonna do my hair, how I do it every single night. And then we're gonna do skincare. I'm gonna do a mask and do my skincare and all of that good jazz. So yeah. But today we are also going to tell a story time while I do my little nighttime steps. And this story time about my first heartbreak. So if you wanna watch and you're interested, keep on watching. Okay guys, so I'm just first gonna go in with the Hosk Argan Oil. This is the leave-in spray. It's a 4-in-1 leave-in. And I just like to put this in my ends just because of the job that I do. I just can't stand to like sweat and not wash my head. Like, ooh, I just can't. So this goes back to freshman year of high school. And I was always, up until like my junior year of high school, I was always the good kid. I was, you know, straight A's, got along with everybody, goody two-shoes. Told you guys before, I spent 50% of my time with my grandparents. And I've always been told that I have an old soul. I always have friends that are much older than me. Freshman year of high school, I was put on the honor roll. Part of that was math. I was always really, really good at math. One of the teachers asked if I would sign up to help tutor some of the students who weren't doing as well. So I signed up to do that. By the way, this is just a wet brush. Don't mind my hair all in it. Gross. Very first day, y'all, this is not a joke. This is exactly how it happened, verbatim. I go into the class and the tutors would sit in the very back of the class. This student comes in raising hell. She's fighting with somebody. They drag her into the class. She slings a desk across the room. I will never forget it. The teacher walks over to me, looks me dead in the eyes and says,
"Morgan, I want you to meet, we'll call her Julie. Morgan, this is Julie. You're going to be tutoring her."
The girl who threw the desk across the room, yes, I was going to be tutoring her. So I'm like, great. Me and Julie ended up becoming very, very close friends. She didn't care what anybody thought. She was just, you know, go with the flow, live by the beat of her own drum, did whatever Julie wanted to do, you know, and Julie was going through a lot at the time that I didn't know as well. And Julie lets me know that she is living with her aunt, uncle, and cousin, and she had gotten suspended from the school that she was previously going to. That she had actually gotten into a physical fight with a guy at the school she was going to previously. So I was just like awed by her. So fast forward, she introduces me to her cousin. Spoiler alert, her cousin would inevitably be my first love. We're going to call him Stan. Stan was a senior in high school when I was a freshman. Very much my taste in every sense of the word. I'm going to go in with some Dior lip balm. It's approaching prom season by this point. I could definitely tell that Stan was flirting with me. But I also knew that he wasn't dating this girl, but I knew of a girl that he had dated in my grade, and this girl was scary. We'll call her Bridget, and I knew that they had dated, and I was just not about to go down that road. Before he even asked me to be his girlfriend, he asked me if I would go to prom with him. I'm like, absolutely not, because I knew he had a date, and I'm like, absolutely not. Long story short, you guys, he ends up begging me, sending me roses to school, writing me this sweet, sweet letter that my mom still has in my stuff to this day, asking me to prom. I end up going. So we become boyfriend, girlfriend, and I end up going to prom with Stan. I'm now going to go in with the red ginseng mask with collagen and the bababble from Bellamy. We were both super nervous. We were both, you know, he was a preacher's son, and he was very sheltered as well. He had told me that he was a virgin, and I was a virgin, so it was like the most innocent night in the beginning. I met his mother for the first time, and his dad and his uncle, and we went and ate, and it was just so, so sweet. It was a last minute thing. Me and my mom literally had to like rush the day before and get me a prom dress. It was so last minute. I had had like little, you know, boyfriends or whatever, but I had never been out on like a date alone with a guy at this point. And not only am I on a date, I'm at fucking prom. I'm a freshman, just wanted to be this perfect girlfriend. Fast forward, we fall head over heels in love with each other. We lose our virginities with each other. He was my first kiss, the first time I held hands with anyone, the first time I'd ever done anything, everything you can think of doing with a guy, my first time was with Stan. Everybody thought that we were going to be together forever. I thought we were going to be together forever. And I do think that at one point, Stan thought that we were going to be together forever. Fast forward a couple of years, and I end up going to Disney World with his mom and his cousin. We have a blast. We come back. Everything is completely fine. Important for me to mention that at this point, he was basically living with one of his friends. He was leaving the nest, okay, for the first time. And he had graduated high school, obviously, and he was growing up. I wasn't 18. All of these things are important to know. After the Disney World trip, I start to feel this distance between the two of us. And it was scaring me because I was so in love with Stan. So my mom and dad, they hadn't mentioned us going on a summer vacation. Like I said, I had just gotten back from Disney World. And my mom comes to me and says that we are going to the beach. I'm like, Mom, I don't want to go, you know, because I know in my heart if I go, it's going to be a very bad thing. I was miserable the whole beach trip. My mom is basically like, you're going. End of discussion. He was watching one of our dogs. As we got to the beach, I get stung by a jellyfish. I call him. He's like not even listening to me. He's like, oh, I've got to go. Like, it's not even Stan. It's not the same person. Meanwhile, on this vacation, my sister's boyfriend came, which Stan was invited to come and didn't. This was their first trip. This was, you know, when my sister and her boyfriend were like really falling in love with each other. Fast forward, they're married and have a son now. So they actually did last. I just knew something was wrong. You know what I'm talking about if you've been there. You know when something is not right. I tried calling him because we ended up leaving the beach early. I was in the hotel room for like 3 days because my jellyfish thing was so bad. As soon as we got to the beach too, y'all, as soon as we got in the fucking water, and thankfully my now brother-in-law like kicked the jellyfish off of me, but it was terrible. I tried calling Stan to tell him, you know, hey, we're home. We're about home. I'm going to come and pick up our dog. And Baxter was his name. And he wasn't answering the phone. Now, Stan was living with one of his friends at this point, like I mentioned, and he lived off of a main highway. Now, I could see Stan's house from this highway, but Stan couldn't see me. So as we're pulling up, I notice, and it's very imperative for you guys to understand that this is not Stan. Stan was standing out on his truck, which he had a fire engine red Chevrolet jacked up truck, okay? He was so proud of this truck. He was standing out by his truck, like leaning on it with no shirt on. Like I said, this was not Stan. with the shirt off, like posing in a way. And as we pull in his driveway, I can tell by his face that I'm the last person he wants to see. Very weird. It was bizarre. I ask if he wants to hang out. He says no. I'm like, Disney World with your mom for a week, and now I've been at the beach again for a week, and you're like, don't even care. Like, it's weird. So I sent him this text and he doesn't respond. Something's not right. The following Sunday, when we were supposed to go to church together, he comes and picks me up for church. He lets me know that he has been cheating on me. Y'all, when I say that I was devastated, it is a complete and utter understatement. And when you have your first heartbreak, a lot of times you can do things out of character for yourself, such as go to a karaoke place with his mom, knowing that him and, we'll call this girl Miley, knowing that Stan and Miley are going to be there and they're going to be there as a couple. You continue to go to church, all of these things with his mother. Like, it's just, you do things out of character that you wouldn't normally do. And about 2 months, maybe not even 2 full months after we broke up, my pappy ended up getting really, really sick and passing away. Now going in with the Fenty Skin, this is the moisturizer with SPF. I do want to mention that Stan did come to my pappy's funeral. Stan was always the type of person to, I'm just going to say it, lead me on. Lead me to think that things would eventually be different and he just had to get something out of his system. Things just don't always work out. I've told you guys this before, but for those of you all who are new, I ended up falling head over heels with this boy, which may he rest in peace. I'm not going to use his real name. We're going to call him John. I ended up falling head over heels with John, and we end up getting pregnant and all of these things, and we are just so in love. We end up having a miscarriage, which was devastating to the both of us. And Stan calls me up and begs me to go to the karaoke place. He's like, I have to talk to you. Please, please, please come. And I'm like, okay, fine. After a lot of convincing from friends, I go and I meet Stan. I take one of my best friends, which I'm sure she wouldn't mind if I said her name, Ashley, to the karaoke place with me. And the entire way, she's like, Morgan, I really think that you should hear him out. I really think that this is your person. And I was like, I know that you say that, but I was so scared to get my heart broken, and I was so in love with John. Go to the karaoke bar with Ashley and to meet Stan. And he has, at that time, was not, but is now his wife with him. He pulls me aside, says, you know, I need to know right now what you want, because I want to be with you. I want to be with you forever, but I need to know now because I'm about to make a decision. He was going to be with her and take on that responsibility, which he is a fantastic dad. He is a fantastic man. And I think that everything happens for a reason. And I think that my decision at that time was the right decision for him and I both. Because I would later end up with Chris, and he is happily married and now has 2 beautiful children, and it was all meant to be. But I told him no. Don't ever be an option. I waited for years for Stan. I was so in love with John, and 1 week later to the day, John packed up all of his things while I was at work and moved out. Now, we are not going to make any nasty comments about John. They will be deleted. John is no longer with us. He was an amazing soul. And our miscarriage, he didn't deal with. And I think because I wasn't in a mindset to talk about it, that it messed with him more than he ever admitted. But we did make contact again before he passed. We were in good terms. And like I already mentioned, he was a one of a kind, and he was one of the loves of my life. Fast forward, he ends up getting married not long after that. And I ended up meeting my now ex-husband not long after that as well. And we weren't married very long either. And that is going to be the next story time. So be on the lookout for that. Well, not the next story time, but it's coming up soon. I am now, just as a final step, I did go in with the Bellamy Facial Oil. This is amazing. It's like miracle oil. I'm just going to go in with my Murad eye cream. I'm just trying to use the rest of this eye cream before I order the Bellamy one. I do have full intentions to order that one. I just do want to be sure to use all of this, because if you've ordered Murad before, you know their full-size products are super bouge. But yeah, guys, that is the story of my first love, summed up very short but sweet. There's always an email below, questions, the number 4 shay@gmail.com. That is for you guys to communicate with me. That is not a business email. That is for you guys. I love talking to you guys. I love getting to know you all and finding out where you all are from. It's everything. Be sure that you are following me on social media, because in particular Instagram, because I am going to be running a poll this month for the Q&A on Instagram, and I would love for as many of you all as possible to be able to partake in that Q&A. Also, be sure that you do like this video. That does help me immensely. Share it with your friends. And until next time, my little baby darlings. Bye.
Something about his manners. Oh, I know.